call to order the meeting of council. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Forward. Be it resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Item number 2, the confirmation of minutes.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Ford. Be it resolved that the minutes of the public hearing, regular council meeting, and the committee of the whole of November 13th, 2017 hereby approved, all statutory declarations having been complied with.
Okay. It's Monday. Any questions or comments on the minutes?
I signed 2 things, so what else? What did I sign wrong?
No, you signed, I had 3 things.
Oh, yes.
Hearing none, I will call the vote. All in favor?
Sorry, I'm going to abstain because
Okay.
I wasn't at the meeting.
Okay. All in favor? 1 abstained. Okay. Next item on the agenda is citizens period. Any citizens here that would like to speak? Seeing none, we will move on to the CAO report.
So the following is a report of general operations as at November 20th. Museum is prepping for paint night, which I think will be held on Thursday evening. They always get quite a crowd for that. There's been several rentals for the Rotary Room at the museum. The museum is also arranging for a loan of traveling exhibit, Canola, a story of Canadian innovation from the Canada Agriculture and Food Museum. The museum staff also did radio interview regarding upcoming events and also a phone interview with Town and Country of the Winnipeg Free Press. Recreation is working with our insurance company as it relates to the loss of revenue as a result of the brine leak we had at the rink. Working with Roadrunners for swim meet and clinic, which was held November 17th to 19th. Blizzard held an MJHL game at our town arena. We had a pretty decent turnout. Small fire at the arena as it relates to a speaker short. That's also an insurance claim that we're looking at. Ice had some issues, however, fingers crossed, we're still doing fine. There's been quite a few burials at the cemetery. Interviews for Wellness Center held for part-time cleaners. Managers are still working on performance appraisals. Carrie from HR received her CPHR designation. Congratulations to Carrie. We were sad to announce the loss of another fellow employee, Sandy Anderson. Our thoughts are going out to her and her family. Airport tabletop exercise was held on November 17th. This is also going to be under our emergency measures plan. What this is we have to have a tabletop exercise once a year. I've been here 10 years. This is the first time we've had one. So, leaps and bounds. And we're actually going to be planning for a live exercise, what we have to do in accordance with legislation. Managers are covering short staff at Wellness Center front desk. Some new classes are starting at the Wellness Center. I would tell you what they are, but I can't pronounce them. The dock has been removed for the season, obviously. Snow plowing and sidewalk clearing is underway. Prepping site at asbestos burial grounds. Worked on various maintenance issues at the town garage. Work is being done at the deep well. I don't know if you guys seen, there was a huge crane in town the other day that was helping us with our deep well. Sewer jetting of dead ends and insulating is underway. Working on the LaRose infrastructure. Working with Trebs Electric on the controllers. Met with Kimberly Valentine, CDC DMC employee, regarding her role and objectives and how she can assist the town. We had a very good sit down. I think she's going to do leaps and bounds. Met with Northern Health Authority. We're still looking for arena attendance as we are down 2. We're trying to come up with some other plans there. We started with 4 at the beginning of the season. Now we have 2. We're also working with the Health Authority regarding a tree program. They're applying for grant monies to put trees up around the community that are fruit bearing and teaching education on healthy eating, so we're trying to work together with them on that. Had a total loss fire at Rocky Lake, and it was to a residence that was under construction. And we've been having quite a few false alarms for the fire department. And that was it.
Thank you, Randy. Does anybody have any questions for Randy? Okay, we'll move on to the next agenda item under committees, Public Works Maintenance, Environmental Act Proposal Submission.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Ford. Be it resolved that Council authorize J.R. Cousins Consultants to submit an Environmental Act proposal to the Province of Manitoba Sustainable Development on behalf of the Town of the Paul.
Okay, any questions or comments on this? Call the vote, all in favor? Carried. Next item under planning and development, Lakeview Lot Extension.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that council approve the following extension for Lot 2, Plan 33558. Section 8 of the purchase agreement being the construction of a basement or foundation from November 15, 2017 to June 30th, 2018, and Section 9 of the purchase agreement being lockup stage from November 15th, 2017 to June 30th, 2019.
Any questions or comments on this? Call the vote, all those in favor? Opposed? Next item, a policy to have purchase agreement extensions run through our CAO.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, whereas from time to time extensions to purchase agreements, as we just saw, are required, and whereas current practice is that these extension requests are approved by council, therefore be it resolved that council adopt policy PD 612, purchase agreement extension, which authorizes the chief administrative officer to approve these extension requests. So the train of thought being that our CAO is certainly qualified to pass judgment on whether or not an extension is warranted by a request, and no need to tie up council time for that matter.
Okay, any other comments?
Are we going to look at, sorry, I mean to scare you. Okay?
Very loud.
That's never been said about.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Never.
First time.
About charging a fee for extension?
There's a fee in there.
Yeah,
There is a fee in there.
The policy.
I think it was a fee too.
$250, yep.
Okay.
Okay,
That covers
Yep.
this, yeah.
okay, I'll call the vote, all in favor? Opposed, carried. Next item number, board appointments and deputy mayor.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that council authorize the following committee appointments for the 2018 term. Personnel Committee, Andrew Forward, Crystal Cross, and Margaret Commodore. Museum Board, Brian Rock. Chamber of Commerce, Margaret Commodore. Sustainable Forests, Brian Rock. Citizens on Patrol, Margaret Commodore. Community Development Corporation, Alan Gibb. Recycling Board, Chad Zielinski. The Paw Community Renewal Corporation, Chad Zielinski. Library Board, Andrew Forward. Kelsey School Division Committee, Jim Scott, Andrew Forward, Chad Zielinski. Destination Marketing, Crystal Cross. And the Kelsey Planning District, Jim Scott, Brian Rock, and Chad Zielinski.
Any questions or comments on that?
Forgot the deputy
I
mayor.
missed one?
Yeah.
Oh, at the very
Deputy mayor.
bottom, sorry.
And further be it resolved that Alan Gibb be appointed Deputy Mayor.
Okay, sorry,
Forget that.
Oh, it's buried in the bottom.
it's in the fine print.
In the fine print, you gotta be careful with that fine print.
Changes everything.
So just to note that these appointments would take effect in January. Any comments or anything else? I will call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Next item, pledge of municipal taxes.
Oh, sir. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Forward, whereas each year a pledge of taxes is signed by the town to secure the line of credit from Westoba Credit Union, just in case operating dollars are required until taxes start coming in. Therefore, be it resolved that council authorize the mayor and chief administrative officer to sign a pledge of taxes in the amount of $1 million being the line of credit for expenditures to the Westoba Credit Union for the year 2017.
Oops.
That's okay. Any,
Is that supposed to be?
okay, any questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried.
You can sign the resolution, just not the other one, because it's...
Yep, okay, yep. Next, item number, BizPal. Oh, sorry, gas tax 2016 audit, sorry. Skipped ahead of myself.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Forward. Whereas a requirement as part of the gas tax program is to submit annually audited annual expenditure reports. Therefore, it be resolved that council accept the audited annual expenditure report for the Town of the Paul Federal Gas Tax Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2016, as prepared by Collins Barrow, HMA LLP.
Any questions or comments on that? I'll call the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Next item, number BizPal.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Forward. Whereas BizPal is a free online tool that provides information on the permits and licenses you need from all levels of government to start and grow your business in Manitoba. And whereas BizPal provides municipalities with a cost-effective way to enhance service delivery and promote business development and compliance, and is used by over 80% of the municipalities in the province. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council for the Town of the Paul authorizes the participation of the Town of the Paul in the Manitoba Department of Growth, Enterprise and Trade's BizPal program initiative.
Any questions or comments on that? I'll call the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Item 7.4.5, accessibility plan.
You're speaking.
Okay, all right.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, whereas the Accessibility of Manitobans Act was passed in December of 2013, and organizations had to have a plan in place by November 2017. And whereas the basis of this act is to ensure that any persons with disabilities has equal access to resources within their own community by identifying and removing potential barriers which would limit their participation in daily activities. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve the Town of the Paul Accessibility Plan.
Any question or comment on this? I'll call the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Next item, 7.4.6, payroll and accounts.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that council authorize the following accounts. Pay period number 2 in the amount of $112,953.57. General checks number 19760 to 19912 in the amount of $2,161,410.29. And electronic fund transfers in the amount of $75,919.54.
Any questions or comments on that? Call the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Next item, 7.5.1, acting fire chief.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that council authorize the appointment of acting fire chief to Randy Manich as per discussion during the in-camera portion of the November 13th, 2017 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Any comments on this discussion? I'll call the vote. All those in favor? It's carried. Committee. Museum Board, Councillor Watson here. Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Commodore.
No meeting.
Okay. Citizens on Patrol?
I missed the last meeting, but there's one point I want to add that I didn't mention last week, was they have a sign in front of Twin Motors there, and that shows your miles per hour when you're entering the town. And I've noticed since I have go that route every day, that there is actually a lot of people, I look in my rearview mirror, that actually slow down. So it is working.
Okay. CDC, Councillor Gibb?
We had a meeting, but we didn't have a quorum.
Okay. Destination marketing, the minutes are attached to the agenda for information, and we haven't had a meeting since our last council meeting. Recycling board, Councillor Zelinski.
Yes, we did have a meeting, right? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a meeting.
Yeah.
Pretty much business as usual. Everything seems to be going well. Pickups are going really well, and I think we're on track to break last year's total for the year. So, yeah, it's going well, but I don't think anything.
Can I make one point?
Yeah, for sure,
Sure.
definitely. I'm super unprepared.
That's because you were in Mexico. You forgot?
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't at the meeting.
You're such a good
Yeah.
politician.
Well, no, I haven't talked about the last meeting since,
Dude, you know that's on tape, right?
You're gonna have to slip Brian a 20 later to edit that out. Yeah, just cut that out.
It is actually business as usual. Pickups are doing very well. There she's.
Oh my God, it sounds exactly like
exactly. I wasn't wrong.
There's one point that we would like to bring up. Margie would like to bring in clear plastic bags for all types of garbage. There's green for compost, but we don't follow that one, so that won't be used here. Blue is for recycling, they're clear bags, and what we'd like to see would be the clear bags for garbage. And that's where we could see where people are not, if they're recycling or not. So that's something that we would like to
Bring forward.
bring forward, but it was, yeah.
Randy, do you have?
So are you allowed to use the clear blue ones?
You can use the clear blue ones and there's a clear blue ones in there for recycling, and then the clear is just for garbage. There's a
We're
clear,
suggesting a change to
A
the
change.
garbage bylaw so that the town itself, when it collects garbage, can get a sense for whether or not households are recycling. So although it's coming out of the recycling center meeting, there's a general feeling that there's a lot more recyclables that are still hitting the landfill that don't need to. But we have no way to really quantify that or know what that looks like or know who to target in terms of, whether that be public relations or, targeted information for education and stuff like that, or even if it's as simple as knowing who to ask about why they're not recycling.
this
So
is
I
just
think
the
that was
first
the
step,
topic. Yeah.
just a notice that this is something that we'd like to pursue.
Might be something to talk about with Sam and the engineering department, but whether
Yeah.
or not that's, be interesting to hear from the guys that do the garbage pickup, whether or not they felt like something like that would actually provide any relevant information or not.
Is there maybe any way the recycling center could just send us a written request saying to ask us to consider that, and then we can move on it?
For sure.
That'd be
It was just a
perfect.
discussion point at the meeting. I
Yeah.
think it wasn't necessarily an action item, thought we
Yeah.
voted, so.
Just a little preview of what's to come, hopefully.
Okay, the Paw Community Renewal Corporation, there hasn't been a meeting since our last meeting, but their Santa Claus Parade is on December 15th. They're still accepting float registrations. It's going to start at the GLMC and end at the Roy H. Johnson with a free skate and hot dogs and hot chocolate. And the theme for the parade this year is 150 years of Christmas in celebration of the Canada 150. And they're still looking for a community facilitator if anybody knows anybody who might be interested. Library Board, Councillor Forward.
We did have a meeting, I can't recall exactly the date, but
It's, the library is, functioning normally with their hours. We haven't switched. Usually the switch would have been back to having time on the weekends after summer hours, but this year we didn't do that because of the budget constraints. And so we went through the budget for 2018, or at least a proposed budget with the administrator. It's pretty shoestring. I mean, if I'm being honest, just like every other department in the town, there's nowhere in their operations that you could really point and say, okay, there's something that's inefficient or something that requires change. It's a very efficient operation as it runs. So we talked about the constraints of the budget and how that operationally can work, and that's still a work in progress. Should be finalized hopefully at the next meeting. We talked a lot about the building itself, which we've talked about at our table regarding the ownership of the building, whether or not it can be invested in as an asset by the library and or that a return on that by it not being something that falls down. So I think we're making good strides that way, and the library board, I'm sure, will be pleased to hear that we're looking at clarifying that situation. And the board is still navigating the collective bargaining association, or collective bargaining agreement process with the MGEU and library. So the library applied for status with the MGEU, and so that agreement is still being worked on. And I think that's about it. Our administrator's away for a short period of time here. And yeah, I think that's
the library, it escapes me, I need to bring my notes. They did a group was doing this big art project with a bunch of fingers, where they are like molding fingers from people, like they have like, I don't know, they had like 200 or 300 people come in and like cast a mold of their finger in like plaster or whatever, and it's going to be turned into this piece of art that is going to be kind of like floated around the community kind of from place to place. It's pretty, it kind of sounds weird, and it does kind of look weird. She showed us a few of the fingers because they were there, we were in the annex and they were there, but you know, I think it might actually be the Arts Council that's doing it, but they were doing it at the annex in the library, and so there's a lot of crossover there between the board members and the Arts Council, but it's a really neat thing, and the library will be one of the places that is displayed once it's finished.
Okay. KSD Committee and Joint Committee of Council have not met, so I will adjourn or call for a motion to adjourn the meeting, and we'll move into Committee of the Whole.
Right here.